For those who feel enough is not enough and failure is not an option, for those, there is Gamma Labs PTF, the next generation pre-workout supplement, a human enhancement formula designed to build a superior athlete.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm stoked for this fight. This is the fights. This is the fights I want. I want guys that are in their spot, guys that are tough, and have staked their claim here at 85. Tim Kennedy's proved himself time and time and again, and I'm excited. I like competition. I like fighting the best guys, and right now Tim Kennedy's that guy. So I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna perform. I'm gonna train, like I always do.
You know, if you look at the last two fights, the ratings have been solid, and like I said, the last show had the highest ratings this season. And Showtime is extremely happy. Talked to them yesterday. They're pumped up about Strikeforce, and I know that Zuffa's pumped up about Strikeforce, and the office is happy here, and I'm personally happy. I really believe that Strikeforce will produce great fights, produce great ratings on Showtime, and if we can accomplish that, we'll have a deal with Showtime for many years to come. And they've been great for mixed martial arts, and they've been great to us. Our first fight with them was in 2007 when we did the Shamrock Baroni fight, and we did a Shamrock Kung Lee fight, which I think were some amazing fights that we did up at the HP. So we keep doing what we do and have great athletes like this, and like last week we had the Cormier fight with Josh. I mean, we keep delivering great entertainment. We're going to have a great future. Yeah, I can tell you this. I think that there's good dialogue between Zuffa offices and Showtime, and the last two events proved that MMA is a worthy product on Showtime. And if it was something that they didn't want to do, believe me, they would have walked away. Showtime would have walked away. And when you look back at 2006, they decided to get into MMA. And so for the last 6 years, they've proven over and over again that they're going to be committed to the sport. So I just think we have to do our part. They'll do their part, and it's how it works. Great ratings means you're going to be on air, and I think Strikeforce is a brand that they've helped build for the last 6 years, and we're proud to. I'm personally proud to say that they're our television partner, and they've been very good to us. So like I said, great fights, great ratings. You'll have a TV contract.
What were your thoughts on Daniel's fight the other night? I mean, I think a lot of people thought he had the ability to win, but I don't think anybody knew he was going to run through Josh Barnett like that. Did you guys envision that? Did you know he was that good?
I've known Daniel's that good for a while. I think the biggest thing with Daniel is that he might not look that good in the gym, but when he comes to the fight, he's got that confidence. He's the competitor in him, and he's more confident than anybody when it comes to fight time, and that translates very well. Josh Barnett, he's confident, but he shies away a little bit. He does some things that I think hurt him a little bit in the fight, and it goes that way for a lot of fighters. You have to be confident, and you have to let your hands go and let everything go in the fight. And confidence is a huge factor in fighting. So it was cool to see that. And I think Daniel, he's smaller, and he's used to competing with guys my size, my athleticism in wrestling his whole career. So he's got that speed and that athleticism that nobody can really deal with at that weight class, and having that wrestling makes up for the size advantages. So it's cool, and I know he's got a huge future ahead of him at that weight class. And people talk about him dropping down to light heavyweight, but I think he's very comfortable there. I mean, he couldn't make 211 for the Olympics, so let's just focus on where he's at. I mean, if can't make 211 for the Olympics, I don't know, 205 for fighting.
Yeah.
We'll see. There's a lot more money actually in fighting, so we'll see. I don't know, but I think he's comfortable, and I think his attributes work very well at heavyweight, and so I think he should be there for a long time. I think people need to give up on the 205 crap, so let's keep him there.
No, yeah, maybe the frustrating part was, I walked away from a pretty fantastic military career to fight, and then I've had long breaks between my fights. It's like this. Frustrating, but my first fight back as a pro was 3 weeks after coming back from Iraq when I fought Jason Mayhem Miller, and then I went to Afghanistan and I came back, and my first fight with Strikeforce was I think on 3 or 4 weeks notice, after coming back from Afghanistan. So I don't care about breaks.
How does that compare to just having a regular fight training camp and coming into a fight? I mean, coming back from combat. What are some of the differences you deal with as far as coming back in 3 weeks? You're from combat into a mixed martial arts sports fight.
Yeah, physically we're always in shape wherever we are, but here everything's right. Diet's right, your head's right. You're technically, like, things are actually clicking how they're supposed to. I'm over there hitting a tire with sledgehammer and picking up 50 cals to do my workout. Here I have the world within my reach. I can get anybody to do anything. A chiropractor if my hip doesn't feel right, or I can see a massage therapist. If I was like, well, I have a short muscle, whatever. All those things we don't have over there. So it's unreal to have a fight camp where you can do everything right and then step into the cage and try to perform at what your potential is compared to just step into the cage to fight. There's a big disparity there. People have this perception of Rangers and snipers and Green Berets that's like just so skewed. We're heartless murderers and baby killers and just such toilet. We're all family guys. We all love this country and we love having fun. That. I think if you're gonna pick an attribute or characteristic that's most common amongst the special operations community, it's like that we're just, meat-eating, corn-fed American boys that like to have a good time, and sometimes that's making fun of Katy Perry, sometimes that's self-deprecating humor, sometimes that's, taking a guy that you like and then try to kill him for 25 minutes, it's just what we are, so we're all like this, maybe a screw loose a little bit, but just like to have a good time.
You both got great stories. I mean, Luke's got a very remarkable look. Are there plans to branch them out? In the sense that
Please go on.
That's my man right here, dog.
Well, right now, they're going to be focusing on the fight, and but I mean, when you look at both of these guys, they're both marketable, like you said, beyond just MMA. I think Luke's been offered a couple underwear commercials or whatever. He doesn't want to talk about that, but I think that's really going to be up to them, and how much they want to pursue outside the cage. But I think both these guys could do it, and I think they'd be very successful at branding themselves outside.
For those who feel enough is not enough and failure is not an option. For those, there's Gamma Labs Pre-Training Formula, the next generation pre-workout supplement, a human enhancement formula designed to build a superior athlete. More power, more speed, more endurance, more mental focus, more of you.